Peace, fam. We are live again. Dynasty Mir, search for Uhuru. I hope all is well. Hopefully, you guys can hear me. Am I coming through smoothly? Again, am I coming through smoothly? Can you guys hear me? Again, I hope all is well. Today, Wednesday. Oh, please spare her. She doesn't know where the beat is or how to stay on it. Don't hate. Don't hate. Don't hate Linda's place. Please don't hate. Do not hate. Don't do that. Linda, come on, leave that poor girl alone. I don't even know her name. I forgot her name, but leave her alone. Don't be like that. Again. Everyone, we're waiting for Kyler. I don't know where Kyler's at. Kyler's eating a collard green sandwich somewhere, but that's all right. He's eating. Here he comes. Here comes Kyler. Here comes Kyler. Kyler, you're just on time. You're just on time. I was like, Kyler's eating a collard green sandwich.
I ate an hour ago, man. I thought we were gonna start a long time ago, in 7:30.
My bad. Some stuff came up, man. It's just
I kind of figured that.
Let me say this. I want to put this on record. What's going on with the financial system? Shout out to Golden Heart. She said, Dynas, I'm so glad you came back to your senses. I don't know what you're talking about. But anyways, guys, what's going on in Canada, or what happened with Canada in regards to them shutting down these truckers' bank accounts. And what's going on now between Russia and Ukraine in regards to like them taking them off the SWIFT system and all that. We need crypto. Like, I am pro Bitcoin. Like, for my tours, I would prefer everyone pay me in crypto. And the reason why I say that, so you guys know the site is live now. The site is up, and I'm using Square as my credit card processor. So somebody pays today, I get flagged by Square. We need some more documents. We need to investigate your account. I'm just like, y'all should have asked for this before I signed up. Mm-hmm. So I'm in limbo as far as accepting credit cards and debit cards through an official processor for 48 hours to see what they say. But the good thing is, they're like, look, if you want to refund the person, you can go ahead and refund them. I just don't have access to the funds, but I can refund them. And I told my client, like, look, this was going on. I said, okay, just wait 48 hours, see what happens. After that, refund us, or refund us, and we could pay you use another route. So either Zelle or Cash App. I'm like Zelle and Bitcoin. That's what I want. I want Zelle and I want crypto. In fact, guys, we'll go ahead. I'm gonna take you guys to the site real quick. Hold on, give me 1 second. We're gonna check out the site. So tour coming up, Sierra Leone. That is coming up April 20th through the 30th. Again, April 20th through the 30th. Tour, Sierra Leone. Let's see here, Brave Tab, Danfo. So everyone, here's the site. The site is done. The site is done. We had a couple setbacks. We had some hiccups. Developer had issues with him. But we finished the site, everyone. The site is complete. Again, one more time, guys. The site is finally done. It's finally complete. Make sure you go to Danfo.Africa.
That's it? Danfo.Africa?
Yeah, Danfo, DANFO.Africa. That's the site, Danfo.Africa. So, guys, make sure you go there, check out the site. And so what I'm referring to, travel, Sierra Leone, tour April 20th through the 30th. Those are the dates, April 20th through the 30th. I actually need to change that on here. So, guys, it's the Northern 19th to the 29th. We're leaving on the 20th. Returning on the 30th. So if you put in your installment payment amount and click book now, proceed to checkout. So I have it set up where I'll take Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin. So you can pay via Bitcoin, Ethereum, or Litecoin. I'll take Zelle. And right now, credit card is on hold because of Square. Again, credit card is on hold because of Square. Unfortunately. So we'll see how that plays out in 48 hours. But it's all good. I found another payment processor that said, because for some reason travel is considered high risk. My industry is considered tourism, travel is considered high risk. But I found another option where I could accept credit cards and debit cards, because it's all about convenience. I want you guys, I don't want to inconvenience you all. Me personally, I would take straight Bitcoin. That's all I want. But I don't want to inconvenience you all, my clients, my customers. So I know a lot of people are like, Dynas, we want to pay online. We'd rather use our credit card, debit cards online. I said, okay, no problem. So it is set up, but then I got a message from Square saying, hey, we need to do some more research, investigation. We need more information. So I sent them everything, and we'll see where that goes. So, but I do have another option that, depending on what Square says, we'll just roll with the other option, you guys. That's what we will do. That is what we will do. So, again, Danfo.Africa, Sierra Leone. We are rolling in April. This is the itinerary. It's tentative because, it's dependent on the government. So if you have proof of DNA via African ancestry that you're linked to Sierra Leone, you're eligible for citizenship. So yeah, that's it. You guys, go to the site when you get a chance. But we have crypto block. She said Stripe. No, I'm not using Stripe either. I'm not going to try Stripe. I'm not using Square. Again, because of the industry I'm in, I just don't want any problems. That's all. I just don't want any issues moving forward. But good thing they said I could refund my customers. Now imagine if this was Canada. Right now, imagine if this was Canada and it completely froze my account. So good thing I can at least refund people. But my client was like, "Diane, it's just, we'll wait 48 hours. Just let us know, and then if you got to refund us, we'll find another alternative to pay you." So that's where we're at. But guys, this is the tour company, Donfo. We rebranded. And again, we have rebranded. So check it out when you get a chance. Check it out when you get a chance. Donfo.africa. Again, Donfo.africa, everyone. There we go. I love Bitcoin. Without further ado, we got our brother Calathenos on with us. And today's topic, we're going to be building on what has Ukraine taught us. What have we learned from the Ukraine? What's going on in the Ukraine? From how is that impacting Africa? From what we're finding out, how is that impacting Africa? So, me and Kala, we're gonna dive in. We are going to dive in. Kala Thanos, go ahead, take it away. Hey, we can't. Yeah, okay, Kala, we can't hear you. We can't hear you. I know. Okay, I thought it was just me. Yeah, we can't hear you. I thought it was just me. We can't hear you. Yeah, I thought it was just me at first. That's why I was going through my settings. I'm like, okay, I know the sound is on, but I can't hear him. Yeah, we can't hear you, Kala. No, we can't hear you at all. Yeah, come out and come back in. All right, guys, sorry about that. Yeah, I thought it was me at first. I'm like, man, we can't hear Kala. I mean, I can't hear Kala. Is it me? Did my speakers blow? Did my those speakers blow? I'm like, I can't hear Kala, man. What's going on? What is going on? Imagine we can't use StreamYard and Russia has nukes. So, guys, here we go. Let's see if we're good now. Kala,
can you hear me?
Hear you now. Go ahead.
Okay. Oh, first I was saying as I was on a roll is that this month, March of 2022, makes 4 years. I was on Search for Uhuru, and Dynas was the first person that introduced us to a large platform. And out of that, the whole movement, the BAO, and everything we do. Did you see now when the Pan Africa is tucking off? Everything is connected. The bicentennial in Liberia, all that's connected to everything we've been doing for the last 4 years. Okay, the message is out there. People taking their own trips. They don't acknowledge that this is where they got the idea from. We even got O'Shea, Duke Jackson into the Pan African Spirit, Phil Scott. All this stuff happened in the last year because of Fire Dynas and his guests and everything's been meeting out. So we got to give Dynas a hand. He has 103,000 subscribers right now, which is a monument, right? This guy is not going anywhere. This is the first pure Pan-African platform that's a major contender with the Tariq Nasheeds, everything else out there. So Pan-Africa is not on the sideline anymore. It's into the mainstream of Black America. So thanks for Prince Diane Samir for having me all these years and stuff like that and helped me out there. I wouldn't be here without him, And I thank my brother Bomani Tayamba. I thank Pan-African Strikes Back and everybody else. If I don't mention your name, please don't take it personally. But the whole thing I want to talk about tonight is this, right? I've said this years ago. See, people always ask me, like tonight, somebody asked me on Pan-African, Carlo, why aren't you talking about the African? Well, I said I got to give people bits and pieces of everything. You can't cram everything down everybody's throat, right? So I talk about it on my mind show. That's the audience for that, Now, the question we want to talk about tonight is this, right? And I've been saying this. and I've been vindicated, right? I said, look, I learned a long time ago how there's two different strains of Africans in the world, right, that live outside of Africa. There are Africans that came to the West involuntarily, hundreds of years, right? That's where your black nationalists, your Pan-Africans, everything come from. And then there's a new thing called the sixth region of the African Union. Black Africans who live outside the continent. Now you say, well, Colin, what's wrong with living outside the continent? I'll tell you what's wrong with it, right? The Europeans realize, right, that they really don't have the population. They can't reproduce enough, right? So therefore, right, they said if they want to keep their way of life and their standard of living and everything, something has to give. So therefore, if you want a modern way of life, right, it's never going to happen in Africa. You got to come to Europe for that. You got to come to Europe to get studying. You got to come to Europe to get education. In the time we live in a global world, you can build a university in Antarctica, right? And it can beam out throughout the world. There's not anything necessary for you to physically be in Europe, okay? You bring the thing through. First thing I say like this. First of all, you got to know history. Japan. Now, when the Japanese were confronted with the modern world during the Meiji era, right? The Tokugawa era and the Meiji era, right? And then the Japanese said, look, man, we went across the world. They got railroads, they got steamships, they got all the stuff, they got infrastructure and everything. Now, there was some Japanese who said, you know something, we should all get on big boats to sail to America, sail to Europe and all these places that got the development and advancement and civilization. Then there was some Japanese who said, you know, we've been looking at this, right, for a couple hundred years. At the island of Jeshima in the southern part of Japan, there was a small trading space, like no bigger than your city block, right? That's the only Westerners are allowed in. In that trading spaces, they imported a lot of books from the world, so they kept abreast of what was going on in the outside world. And they said one day we're gonna have to bring all this stuff to Japan, so we don't have to leave the island. So therefore, Japanese said, look, they had a Japanese spirit, modern technology. So the Japanese began, instead of sending their kids abroad, right? They began, okay, you send some abroad, right? But they said, look, we're going to build all these things here. We're going to build the infrastructure here. We're going to build the schools, the colleges, everything, and we're going to mandate people to go to them. We're going to make the University of Japan top notch in the world. We want our best minds around us so it's not influenced by Westerners. So when they go out to the West, they know they got better in Japan. Just the opposite is happening in Africa. To get an accredited degree, you got to go to London. You got to go to Ukraine, of all places, you know? One of the most backward countries in the freaking world. You're going to Ukraine for a degree. And so this is what I'm talking about. And a lot of Africans told me, somebody just told me on my thing, that the post I put up there, look on that, Dynas, look what you see. One African said, Colin, give it up. Nationalism is a fake. We're living in a global world. Nationalism is a farce. So therefore, what I'm saying to Africans is this: nationalism and Pan-African, stuff is reality. This is the future. You cannot keep running from the continent. You cannot keep running from what you are. You can't spend 50 years in the West and marrying outside your race and everything. You have to make Africa your home base. We have to build the infrastructure. We have to build Africa, because right now, when I look at people suffering, I'm not going to mock them because I see myself. I'm the type of person that just way I am. I don't believe in the FBA and all stuff. I see black people suffering, and I put myself in that situation. Maybe call me old school, whatever like that. But I don't like seeing people suffer, you know. And bottom line, I'm not going to mock that. You know, they did get their wake up call, you know. And the whole thing is this: why is it shocking? Why is it shocking to them? Don't you understand what you think we're joking when we say when you live around whites, large numbers of whites and everything, you think that you're immune to that? Why? Because you're from Africa and you're different from us? No, it doesn't work like that. You think America, you bought into the propaganda that racism is only an American thing. That's only something that goes on in America. And you were fooled by the fact that Europeans smile in your face and stuff like that. But let the right situation happen. It happened before in France. It happened in Germany. It happened in England, in the Windward boat lift in England. It happens anywhere. Look at Australia right now. Australia right now is about to have I don't feel sorry for the blacks living down there. They're ready to slaughter black people. And they're not African Americans. Gang members, you know, gang culture, gang hip hop culture, and these are all Sudanese and Somali youth that are wreaking havoc in Australia. So I love a lot of African have bought the idea that it's African Americans that are gangbanging. No, we just get the most press, right? But it's a globalized phenomenon. And the bottom line is this: and you got Nigerians now in Australia saying we're just as Australian as you are. A big mistake. You got them in Germany now saying I'm a German. No, you're not. I'm an Englishman, British. No, you're not. You're black and African. You're never going to be German. You're never going to be Ukrainian. You're never going to be anything but African. As soon as you realize that, right? And other people, like they said, if you were smart, you would just say, I'm going to take what I can and get back to the continent, right? But you really bought into these liberal left Marxists of open borders. There's no borders. There's no culture. There's no gender. There's no gender. Male and female is an option. There's no gender, there's no race, no culture, no. There's even no history. I even see them talking about let's rearrange history. The Romans were too great in history, so let's just say now you got people saying the Romans never existed and everything. Anything to make you feel comfortable. And what happens when you feel comfortable? When you feel comfortable, right? That's when shit happens. That's why you waited to the last minute. Your government, the Nigerian government, tried to evacuate. The Ghanaian government tried to evacuate. And all these people try to evacuate, and then you said no. It wasn't until the actual bombs are.
They didn't take it serious.
They didn't take it seriously, because they're like, oh, I ain't going nowhere. How bad is your situation in Africa that you will risk the very last minute before you go back home? I mean, that's sad. I mean, at some point in time, like I said, we spend a lot of time. I spend a lot of time getting on my African American brothers, right? But tonight we got to talk about our African brothers and sisters, man. Our African brothers and sisters have to start getting serious about when we talk about reaching out to us and talking about Pan-Africanism. Because you have no other. You're gonna see after this conflict is over, you got no choice. All them bridges to Europe is gonna be burnt. When you get dissed in Germany, when you get dissed in Poland, you get dissed all these places, and they turn their back, and the world turns their back on you, and who are you going to have to come to? It's going to be right back to me, right back to us. And so the bottom line is this: so you have to get out of this childlike mind that the world's going to take care of you. You have no military that can defend your continent. Anything, any natural disaster hits West Africa, we're in trouble. We don't have the whole continent-wide security and natural resource disaster relief and everything. If the Chinese have to come and rebuild something now, you think they're leaving? No, they're staying. And so the bottom line is this: we have to get our African brothers and sisters to start thinking like adults. Sending your children off to off to the Europeans and everything like that for generations and everything, just because they give you hard currency. Let's build the African currency. Let's use crypto. Let's do everything we can. So therefore, we don't have to deal with this situation. And the whole thing is this: and Africans, and I learned this years ago, and I never want to say this, right? More Africans believe in globalism than anybody else. I think Mexico.
Now, here's my favorite. We're leaving Africa to go to the West because we're following our resources. Because the West takes our resources from Africa, so we're following our resources.
That's cognitive dissonance.
I looked at them like
that's cognitive dissonance. That's called say anything, And the bottom line is that a lot of our African brothers are full of shit. It is what it is. It's an African shuffle, for all kind. But the whole thing is this: that may sound cute and everything like that, but it's not funny anymore. Because let me give you another example, right? The professional student, right? Why do I have people look at people that are older than Prince Dinas Samir as a student? I'm a student. I'm like, damn, that looks like Dinas' uncle and whatnot. Yo, look, let me tell you something. My African brothers and sisters, right? They take it for all it's worth, right? You know what a student is? Somebody set between the ages of 17, I would say 24. You go to school, get that education, and then you come out in the real world. By the time you're 30, right? Whatever field you're in, you got experience. You don't have to be schooling. You get further training. But you should not be an entry-level student at the age of 40. Why they put that in you at a young age? You ever notice, Dinas, that the best web developers that you can go are young people? You ever notice that? Am I true? I'm not just
young people with no degrees.
Young people. The younger you are, the more you can absorb things. You can't teach. I can learn what I can learn because College Genesis is an author. He's an author. He's a writer. I got several books.
Shout out your book, Carla. Shout out your book.
Okay, this book is called Journey to the Promised Land. Okay, on Amazon. And I was on Bomani show Saturday night, and we did some excerpts from it. And Mustafa, Mustafa Tori.
Yeah, Tori.
He read the book. He said it had a profound effect on him. He said the way it described the first time in his life he ever felt like as an African American, because I'm really good at image making and stuff like that, setting the scene. He said when they left the ship and everything, and I gave him the ambiance of the fear when they were pulling out of Charleston Harbor. There's no turning back. The fear, foreboding, all the stuff I mastered when I studied literature in college. And so how to do these, make these things. But the thing is, it was about the Exodus of 1878 from Charleston, South Carolina to Liberia. It's based on a true story. The Liberia Exodus of 1878. The Tolbert family of Liberia came on this ship. So
it's the Tolbert related to Tolbert, the president.
The Tolbert president. The Tolbert's ancestors came on this ship. And when I was in Liberia, me and Steve Tolbert, I got that video. I'm gonna post that one day. We were discussing the novel. He said, yeah, it's very accurate, about what stories they heard, he heard about his family and stuff like that, in Liberia. And so the bottom line, this book is very essential for the people who think about repatriation and building on the African continent. This book really hits home. It's a historic novel. It's based on historically accurate, but it's fictional. It's a fictional historic thing. So get it on Amazon. You can get it on Kindle, whatever like that. Timble. I prefer people get the book, but you can basically get the book, read immediately on Kindle. What's it called? Kindle, right? What's that called?
Kindle.
Kindle. So the whole thing is this. My whole thing is this. We as Black people, right? We not just Africans, right? All of us, right? The Black race has to grow up. We're in our adults. What thing I did with this book right here, right? I gave you adults. I gave you examples of adulthood. I gave you how men took command of the ship and everything like that, and the women were by their side and everything. I showed you what a community and a nation ought to be about in this novel. And the Black men of the 19th century, I don't know what they did to our men, right? But the Black men of the 19th century were something else. These were dynamic men. The Black men of the 19th century, 20th century, 21st century men, you got Lakeith Stanfield come out with stockings. You see that?
Yeah, man. It's Hollywood, man. It's
yeah.
That's why I left. Like when I was pursuing acting and modeling, I just I can't. These people, man, they on some other stuff. Yeah, man, that's what they do.
You got Jim Jones out there in wearing a purple dress. He goes to a Gucci store and
the rapper.
Yeah, they got Jim Jones.
Dress.
They got him in a purple something with a dress. Him and Lakeith Stanfield. They're part of some fashion shoot for Paris.
You sure? You sure?
I'm not lying. Look it up. Look at Dinas. Look it up. Google it right now. Jim Jones. Jimmy Jones. We fly high. So what I'm saying? We fly high. I mean, that song was a jam. I met him back in Virginia Beach years ago. So it was a massive shootout. One of his peeps down here got killed when in the parking lot that night. I was there that night, at Club Miami. We had a club called Club Miami right now. I was working that night. Anyway, but bottom line is this. Him and Lakeith Stanfield. I like Lakeith Stanfield, man. He is a freaking good actor. Dinas, you're muted. You're muted. Dinas, you're on mute.
Yeah, no, I don't want any feedback. That's why I mute myself when you're talking. I don't expect that from Jim Jones, Colin.
Yeah, but look it up. Did you find it? Did you find it? Find it. Jim Jones in Paris.
Right now. When I find it, I'll share the screen.
Yeah. So the whole thing is, this is what you have. This is what you have in the thing. You got that dude. What's that dude that was on the Good Morning Show with whatever. I forgot his name. The football player. Whatnot. He got on high heels and whatnot. Cam Newton. They turned Cam Newton out. And these are the people that they're making. And you look at now. You have Black women going their own way, and they got the divest movement and everything, all this kind of nonsense and everything. I don't want to bring no black males into the world when that black men are femicide on black women. You heard what the people said. Now they're blaming us on that new chick that got killed by a white guy. That's black men's fault. You know, we have all this foolishness going on in Black America, so we're in no position to brag to anybody about anything. You know, we're in no position to judge anybody because we're just screwed. The whole entire black race is screwed and everything because nobody wants to be proud of it's a purple blouse, yeah, lavender blouse, lavender, purple. I don't know all this female stuff for now, you know. But the whole thing is it's just sad. You know what will come to. How are you going to survive, right? How are you going to survive in the new world? And gets me is this.
Hold on, somebody said Michael Strahan was wearing heels.
Yeah, Michael Strahan. Yeah.
I mean, it's just it gets.
Strahan, that's the name.
Strahan. I'm saying it gets to a point like he's in his mid-40s, Colin.
Yeah. His white wife took his money.
I'm saying when you're young and and you do little
even when you're young,
even young, yeah. But it's just like, I'll go ahead.
Yeah. So my whole thing is like I tell people all the time. You know, what happened was in the 60s, right? They said, look, man, how we contribute. Like I said on the last show, the one show, I think I didn't make myself clear, right? I said the white America rejected the best of who we were. Think about that. The black people that did everything right, went to church, everything, paid, praise the Lord and everything like that, stayed out of trouble and everything. White people said we will not integrate with you. You know, they call them niggas. They call them all kinds of stuff like that. We don't want you and everything, right? And now suddenly they embrace the degeneracy in us, right? They embrace Snoop Dogg at a halftime Super Bowl doing the Crip Walk. Dr. Dre giving up satanic symbols, you know? They'll embrace Lizzo, obesity. They'll embrace his
Hey, Colin. Lizzo said that the Nutty Professor
made her feel bad. It should be. It should have. You know, it should have caused her to get in the friggin' gym, get her big ass in the gym.
Listen, the thoughts, blah blah blah, of college Genesis is not that of its search for Hulu. Okay, all right, go ahead.
All right.
You know, it's not that of its search for Hulu. Ah, man.
I forgot what show.
Yeah. Not that of its search for Hulu.
So a little disclaimer. So first, spokesman about the opinions and views of College Genesis does not reflect the views of Dynas Amir and Search for Uhuru. He's an honorable man, you know. I am proud to call him Prince Dynas Amir. You know, he's a good guy. You know, I'm not. Anyway, so the whole thing is this. We have a culture in Black America, right, where nobody. And I was talking about this the other night, right? The problem is we have no hierarchy in Black America. Look at all these black YouTubers going at each other. Look at all these black YouTubers tearing each other down and whatnot. It's freaking ridiculous. They're all saying the same freaking thing. I'm not going to mention names, right? But you listen to all these guys' platforms. They're all saying the same exact thing. It's just that you fighting over your little algorithm and whatnot. They're only going to let you have but so much, right? You know, for as talented as some of these guys are on YouTube or not.
You said something. Fighting over the algorithm.
Fighting over the algorithm, right? You're all fighting over the algorithm. Why do you think I don't have a show? I refuse to do this. Because if I got into this show, get into this, right, I would not be saying what I'm saying now. I'd be trying to appease people, right? To make you feel good, right? Because I want some super chats. You know, by the way, folks, I want to see some super chats. At 375 people in here, I want to see the lights up. I want to see some super chats. Help my brother Dynas Amir out here, brother. He's doing this for you. So, but bottom line is this. Bottom line, I can't do that. You know, I cannot be. Why? Because I feel like I'm compromised, right? I feel like, oh man, that dude gave me $100 super chat, so I gotta say what he wants me to say, or he won't be offended. I don't want none of that. What you hear from College Genesis is coming from the heart. You know, ain't nobody paying me, ain't nobody doing nothing. You know, and so all I ask is people that listen. You know, take the couple hours that I'm on and just listen to what I gotta say and process and give me a fair shake and what you say. I know I'm not the most likable person in the world. I know I'm an asshole with all that stuff like this, right? But just listen to what I'm saying, because I'm saying to telling you the truth. And the truth, like I said, the truth is never pretty, right? The truth is always ugly. The truth is something that it gets right down to you. When Lizzo, so you said Lizzo saw the Nutty Perfection. I read that article, right? You know what that was? The truth, right? And she's been rebelling against that her whole life. She's been going around saying, I'm gonna prove them wrong, that you could be big and obese and be loved. See, but the truth is, right? She's despised. People are laughing at her, not with her. You know, that's truth. She doesn't want to face the truth. And we live in a world, Dinus, where people don't want the truth anymore. I feel like a boy. I feel like a girl. Oh, you are a girl. I believe deep down inside you, you are a girl. The truth is you're a man, and you're never going to be a woman. Nobody wants the truth. Everybody wants to live in an alternate universe, an alternate reality, because people care more about appeasing people's feelings than what they really need to hear. And this is what happens in Ukraine. People in Africa, like I said, you cannot be living in these white countries. I wouldn't even go to these countries. You know, I know there's neo-Nazis and stuff like that there.
I'm trying to figure how do you go to Ukraine?
And their degrees aren't even good. And the bottom, they're not getting the.
No. They're saying the degrees are good. I'm like, how?
Well, I said I know. Somebody told me, he said the degrees aren't even accepted in America. You know. And so you go to, you leave Nigeria and all these countries in a warm climate and everything, and you go living up there. And I see you guys up there trying to date these, because they said there's like 6 women to every one man in Ukraine. So you got yourself dating all these white Ukraine.
Hold on 1 second. Hey, shout out to Quincy for the Cash App. Quincy, I appreciate it. Thank you for the Cash App, brother. Thank you for the $20 Cash App, brother. I appreciate it. Thank you for the Cash App. All right, go ahead, Colin.
Because where's college going to the gym? If you
and then also 1 second, my bad. Tour, Sierra Leone citizenship tour. If you're interested in joining us in Sierra Leone, hit me up. hello@donfo.africa, or just go to the site. Let me pull up the site real quick. Go ahead, Kyle. I'll pull up the site while you're talking.
The bottom line is the bottom line is this. Look, over the last couple of years, I've lost like 80 pounds. You know, when I first got on this. Like that, I've been in the gym. You know, I got the thing. I was out of shape. I was overweight and everything like that. And I've got look at the pictures from when I started and look at pictures of me now. And I'm slimmed down. Everybody's like, God damn, you slimmed down. And I did what I had to do. You know, so I did. I got everything. My business, my life in order. My business, everything's going good in my life. When perfect woman in my life, everything. You know, it's my social network. Everything's growing good and everything. I had to put in the work. Because you're never going to get any place sitting back feeling sorry for yourself or getting people to change their views to suit you, because you don't want to get up and prove who you are and what you are. You got to seize the moment. You got to take the thing. You have to get a piece of the action. That's what it means. Right now, we as a whole entire race of people are letting the world pass us by. You know, I look at this stuff like when I hear these billionaires and millionaires and everything buying whole islands in the Pacific, you know, and everything. I said, where are the black people? Why is it the black race is not organized that we can produce our billionaires and millionaires and everything? Why? Because we want to be in their hierarchy system, right? And fighting over crumbs, right? You got Nigerians and African Americans going back and forth and trying to jockey in position of who's closer to Zaddy. That's what the APA is. You ain't gonna get next to Zaddy close to me. You know, this is my Zaddy. You know, this is my house. This is my Zaddy. Y'all coming over here thinking y'all gonna run us or not. That's what it's all. That's what it is. And so the bottom line, we had our
taking all the jobs. Y'all taking all the jobs.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something, folks. Right, the people. Now, I don't know where people work at, but I tell you right here, that's never going to happen. Here in Virginia, most of the friggin' civil service jobs, most of the people working in the shipyard, the hardest jobs, the trucking, the contract, and everything are all African Americans. You know, I can't walk out my door without seeing in my city successful African Americans all over the place. Right? They're not having this conversation. It's only happening online. They're not thinking about Nigerians. We got some Africans from Togo here that live here and everything. They blend right into the middle class black community and everything. You know, ain't nobody going through all that nonsense that you see online. Now, if you feel like you're threatened by African immigrants, there's something wrong with your career. There's something wrong with what you're doing with your life. Because I know a lot of African Americans, like, they would love to get a bump up. You know, if a lot of Africans came in and replaced African Americans in the shipyard trades, African Americans will move up and move the whites out. The whites will move on to something else, right? We don't have that anybody coming in as entry level, right? So therefore, it is what it is. So this idea that Africans are coming over and taking what? They're taking your Uber job, they're taking your Lyft job, your Uber job, or what are they taking from you? So the bottom line, and also Africans, when they come over here, Caribbeans, they got their family game down packed. That's why you're so jealous, because then, the Dynasty, man, the last couple of days I've seen gender wars. It's getting worse. I want to one day turn on the internet and everything. Maybe because I live in real life, I hope it's not like that, right? People, the hatred I'm hearing from some black women towards black men and some black men towards black women and everything. I don't see that with the African immigrants. They're coupling up, marrying, everything, having kids and everything, and that's why it looks like they're doing such better than you are, and they are, because you all broken up, fractured, and everything. You out there spending your money in the strip clubs every weekend, and whatnot, instead of being home with a family and raising everything. You're doing all this kind of nonsense, sisters and everything. You're out there with your weaves and all stuff like that, doing all this kind of crazy stuff and everything, instead of being home and being a wife and everything like that. That's just reality. That's just reality. As soon as we grow up, as soon as black people grow up and start taking responsibility for our lives, things will get better. But don't say it like that. Gas them up. What's going on, brother?
Go ahead, brother.
Hey, what's going on, Carlos? So I just want to continue that conversation we had earlier on Dynasty Show. Salute to the people in the chat. Salute to you, Dynasty. I think I totally agree with you. Right, on one hand, of course, running water, plumbing, and all those things are definitely necessary for modern development in the so-called modern world.
We can't compromise on that, bro. We guys like this. Let me say something for you. I know where you're going with this, right? We have to get out of the idea, right? On one hand, Africans say we taught Europeans how to bathe. We say that, right? But they'll say, well, why we don't have running water in Africa? Well, that's a European thing. It can't be one or the other. Either we had.
Well, I'm not arguing that. What I'm saying again is simple. I'm saying that the idea of development, because you brought up Japan, right, in Brandon's show, and you brought it up here. For the last 20, 30 years, Japan's been lost decades. Why?
Yeah,
because hold on, wait.
That's the Europeans' version, but the thing is, let me say.
No, but wait, hold on, wait. Let me get there. It's two things, and again, it is a decision, right? Do we take that Meiji Japan approach and industrialize like the West, which the Japanese said, well, that was their technology, that was their source of strength, and we have to copy that? But again, at what cost, right?
Okay,
I would hold on, wait. Let me finish, sir. Let me finish, Colin. Can I finish real quick?
Yeah.
I would hate for me to go back to Nigeria in 20, 30 years, and I see a car called the Kala Yoruba. Brand new, all-four sedan, Kala Yoruba. I would be like, Jesus Christ, what have they done? Because think about what the Jeep Grand Cherokee, right? So I'm kind of like, I don't know if I want this development that you guys want. And I know as us in America, it's like, that's weird to us. Like, no, we should have development. But at a certain point, if, like I told you in Brandon's show, I said, look, man, I was sitting there in Lagos and I just left the market. And I said, wait a minute. They told us that if you live on less than $5 a day, you're in poverty. And I said, but I don't need more than $5, $10 to feed myself here. Anything else is extra consumption. So I'm just trying to say there has to be that fine line. I don't know how we get that fine line, but I think if you just come with that blanket approach and you say, well, these people are childlike and this, and this, you end up having the issue that you saw in Liberia. And I'm not from Liberia, so I'm not going to speak on it too much. But there was that divide where
there wasn't.
Okay, go ahead.
No, there wasn't. No, see, this is what I'm talking about, where people, no offense to you, have misinformation. You sound like you want to be educated and everything, but I seriously think, right? We have to get our education. We have to start going back to the library. We got to start reading books. Everything. When you read books, right? You read books. You read enough books. Read a lot of novels, right? Get my novel. You know what I'm saying? Get my novel, right? Get my novel, right? Start with that. Then start getting some historical novels.
You got to follow me back on emails. I send emails to you all the time. You don't engage.
Bro, I get your emails, but I'm very busy. I trust me. I'll reply back to you. I promise you I will. The whole thing is this, right? What the problem is right now is this. We have in Black America, right? And give me a second to say this, right? And I don't want to offend anybody, right? We basically, for a long time, right, have never taken being smart or intellectual or book reading seriously, right? But now, so we have all social media when people click and Google and everything, right? They think they have a lot of information, right? They have a lot of information. They don't have any knowledge, right? They don't have any wisdom. You know what I'm saying? When you basically grew up like I did before the internet, I was in the library and I was a bookworm. I used to read books on history. That's my thing, history, right? I studied history from all over the world. I study the sciences. I study everything. Every time I can get a book on something, I love maps. You know, I love looking at how things are built and everything. So when you basically read history, right, and then you escape into another world, another realm, another dimension, right? Then when you come back to your realm and whatnot, you're saying to yourself, okay, I saw how they did it, right? And certain things in history began to have patterns, right? You asked a question about Japan, right? Japan knew that if it didn't modernize, right, they looked to the south of them, the Philippines. They would end up like the Philippines. Now, to this day, right, because Japan was isolated and everything, Japan, if Japan had not expelled the Spanish and the Portuguese, right, in the 1600s, right, it would look like the Philippines right now. Philippines and Indonesia is a mess. You know, prostitution, child, all that stuff like that is a mess. That's the result of the West planting their thing there and influencing the people and destroying them with their religion and cult and stuff like that. Japan basically banned all Westerners for 250 years, from 1600 to 1853. 250 years, as old as the United States is, Japan was completely isolated. No people could move outside of Japan. The largest boats could only sail, could not be seaworthy. They could only sail around Japanese islands. So Japan became like a hermit kingdom. Kublai Khan sent a massive army in the 1300s, right, to invade the islands. He sent emissaries. They beheaded him. He came back with a massive army in a typhoon they called the kamikaze wind, destroyed all their ships. And they said it was called divine wind, kamikaze, destroyed all the ships. In the 1600s, right from the thing, only the Dutch had a small trade, because Dutch, the Dutch are very quiet in their dealings, right? So the Japanese allowed the Dutch on one little tiny section of island to come, like I think 5 months out of the year to trade, right? What the Japanese did was bought a whole bunch of news articles and books from the West and translated them to Japanese. Japan created a scholarship class, right? That scholarship class knew that the West was growing strong. They knew about the Atlantic slave trade. They said, look, these people are taking black people by ships and everything across the sea. That could happen to us. They said the Japanese, the West are in China, in India. That could happen to us, right? So they began doing plays, educating the educate class that one day we're going to have to confront these people. They're getting stronger and stronger and everything. They could destroy us. Well, the samurai class who weren't educated didn't know about this. They thought they could hold off the West with their swords, right? And the people who were educated said, no, your sword protected our land, but these people have weapons that can destroy our islands. We have to modernize. We have to become a republic. You can't have the dynamos all over here. We have to become a republic. Yes, and people always say, well, that's Western. No, so it didn't matter. They had to become a nation state, a republic with a central government, an army, right, with police and all stuff like that, with taxes and everything. They have to do all that and modernize. That's what the Meiji Enlightenment period was. But it didn't happen overnight. That was 250 years in the making. 250 years of saying we got to modernize because we're like that. And they actually were right. Right. Why? Because when you saw the Russo-Japanese War break out and everything, all the stuff that would have, if Japan wasn't modernized, right, Russia would have taken over Japan and taken over Asia, everything like that. Japan was able to take over the islands around this country, right, form treaties and everything, and expand its operations into Manchuria, South Korea, the Korean Peninsula, Shanghai. Shanghai. They linked the port of Nagasaki with Shanghai. That was a major hub for Shanghai, the Nagasaki. Japan's influence started growing all over Asia. And so therefore, when World War II started, right, they was able to sweep into Asia and take the whole entire region over. It collapsed the British Empire just like that. The most mightiest empire in the world. The Japan sunk the Prince of Wales in Singapore Harbor and destroyed the whole the United States Pacific Fleet in Hawaii and everything like that. And the bottom line is this. And also, you say that that's bad, right? because they struck at the West and everything, even though they paid for it with
I never
military-
said that was bad, but go ahead.
Hold on. They couldn't have done that if they didn't industrialize. They was able to build their own weapons. You understand that? They have factories, they have industries, you know? So the black race have to get this idea that you're not going to industrialize. Because if you're not going to industrialize, we're going to be enslaved. You're not going to build any military, any economics, anything until we become industrial. That's why I say we have to build what we call an African. We have to build Africa into a super African state, you know, and it has to be all hands on deck. You know, the whole entire race have to be. Right now, Africa is not that. Africa is just a backward of Europe, and not soon to be backward of China, where everybody takes what they want. I saw gold. You said gold, Dennis. I saw African gold with Chinese markers on it. You know, the bottom line is this, and this basically is like this, right? And no more playing games. I'm not for playing games. I'm for, I know what our race needs, right? And I know what we need to prosper. Any sort of backward thinking, right? I don't care about anybody's feelings. Your feelings have nothing to do with it. Japanese resisted modernization. They were burning up schools. They were digging up telegraph lines, saying that's evil spirits. And even after World War II, there were still people that were real feudal and superstitious and everything. And when they went to the city and they saw modern Tokyo, they said, well, this is the way to go. They went back to the rural village and said, look, man, we got to compromise here. We know we got our traditions and stuff like that, but we got to compromise.
And that's the thing is that's the compromise. But you're not sounding. But Colin, this is the problem, right? I'm not disputing you that, oh, you're wrong. I want you to understand. And here's the other thing. Don't presume you're the only one that reads. So I'm not going to go back and forth with you about what we read. But what I will tell you is this. The presumption that you're making is that I'm against what you're saying. I'm trying to tell you is that we have to generally or genuinely find a compromise that makes sense. Because everything you're saying, I can take you to a bar in Lagos right now, and you'll hear 10 dudes drinking Star beer with suya flying out their mouth saying the exact same thing you're saying. But then when they go into the villages, when they go into the cities, they run into problems. And at the end of the day, as much as you're using Japan, hold on. As much as you're using
Origin, real men drink Origin, by the way, not Star.
Origin is shit. Don't Star. I'm not mad. Origin is good, but you know, my point is that at the end of the day, Japan still failed. As much as you're heralding Japan,
how did Japan
because can I tell you, Japan?
Hold on. Are there millions of Japanese living all over the world in destitution?
Wait. No, hold on. Wait, Colin, calm down. You guys, see, you're from like the Chinweizu school, right? I'm sure you read Chinweizu, the West, and the rest of us. That's your school of thought, and I'm not against that. So I get where you're coming from. That you know, the Walter Rodney school of thought. I get that. But what I'm saying that they failed is that if you look at the grand scheme of things, right now, Japan is not a major player on the world stage. Oh, really? They don't run. They don't. No, I'm just telling. It's not about what I think. I agree with you. Wait, Colin. Wait, can I finish? Hold on, brother. Let me finish, please. Just give me like the 2 sentences out. I agree with you that the average Japanese is not leaving their country in droves to be oppressed and abused. 1,000%. That's wrong, and I'm with you. I'm standing there with you. But wait, let me tell you why they failed. Like I just said, for the last 30 years, they've been failed decades. Now, the Chinese, for example, said, hey, wait a minute. We're going to modernize, but we're going to modernize on our own terms.
Oh,
we're going to do things. Hold on. Oh, okay. Can I finish? Can I finish? But wait. They modernized on their own terms, not perfect, but now China's actually slated to take over in terms of the largest economy in the world in the next 10 to 15 years. Japan copied. Wait. Okay, great. But Japan,
the China economy, the bubble. China got whole ghost cities that fall.
Okay, fine. Then they have ghost cities, but at the end of the day, in terms, that's great. In a mess right now. Okay, China's in a mess, but at the end of the day, China is the trading partner with the United States, not Japan. So if we're talking about wait, can I finish this last statement? So if we're talking about who modernized the best, it was China, not Japan. If we're talking about who modernized the best, it was not Japan. It was actually China. And that's why I said, as Africans, both from the diaspora and both on the ground in the villages, we have to come to a compromise. How are we going to walk this fine line of modernity? Because if we take the Japanese route, I agree with you, we could do that. But we might end up with lost decades. We could take the Chinese route. We
Oh,
might end
bottom,
up with ghost cities.
hold
Is
on,
there a
hold
middle
on,
ground? That's
hold
all
on.
I'll say.
Gas. The whole thing is anything is better than what Africa's doing right now. Africa's not even making the baby steps towards industrialization and modernization. Here's where you made a mistake, right? First of all, without Japan, right? Without Japan, China would be nothing. Japan and China does 350, $400 billion a year worth of business together in Asia. When Japan and China opened up relationships back in the 70s and everything, late 60s, early 70s and everything, Japan has been developing. Most of what you see in China comes from Japan. The technology and everything comes from Japan. Same thing with Taiwan. Taiwan provides most of China's semiconductors, right? They're all interrelated. Same thing with South Korea. They're all interrelated. All these Asian countries have what they think called Team Asia. This is the thing Japan was trying to establish during World War II, the East Asian Coast Prosperity Spirit. They tried to do it militarily. Now it's done financially. Japan bankrolled China. Japan gave.
Don't gloss over how they did it militarily. You're glossing over. Admit the atrocities. I know. Keep going, but admit the atrocities. No, admit to the millions of Asians they killed. Talk about that part too. Don't gloss over that.
That's what I'm saying.
Talk about Japan's colonialism in Asia
Hold on.
and their need to get resources and the millions of Asians they killed. Don't gloss over that.
First of all, it wasn't millions. It wasn't millions. That's the Western talking points, right? Japan. That's the same thing you do with American Liberians, whatever like that. They say Japan's a bully like that. The average Asian in Asia, right, except for a few stupid Chinese and whatnot, and South Koreans and everything, will say we are thankful for Japan because they showed us that an Asian country could be as powerful and take on the West. And that's an inspiration for Dr. Sun Yat-sen back then, or Mao Zedong, all the people in Southeast Asia, Ho Chi Minh. All these people said they was inspired by Japan's thing, and that's why the Asian countries modeled their military after Japan. So this idea that Japan that's the Western trying to sow division.
But you're glossing, brother. What you're doing, you're glossing. Can you admit that Japan committed atrocities in their bid to modernize? Can we admit to that?
What about the atrocities that America committed?
I know, we know that, brother. We know what America's done.
Nobody ever talks about that. Nobody ever talks.
I talk about it. We're a black show, Colin. You don't have to educate me. We know what America's done, but I'm talking to you.
I'm saying, so you brought up Japan's atrocities, right?
I want you to at least admit it before we talk about America, which we know what they've done. They brought millions of people to this country.
We don't know what they've done, because if we knew what they've done, why are we still here in America? If we really believe that,
listen, I go back. I go to Nigeria every year. I'm buying land. I'm doing stuff. Dynasty's doing stuff. So we're going back. But what I'm saying is, before you go on with that narrative, please paint the whole picture. And I want you to at least admit. At least admit. Can you at least admit?
I'm getting to that, right? I'm getting to that. In every situation, there's war, right? There's going to be conflict, right? Chinese had every right to think. What about the Chinese who sided with Japan? Chiang Kai-shek.
And now there's just Taiwan, the small little group.
No, hold on. No. He basically, after World War II, right? The United States abandoned.
Okay, keep going. But I want to get Dr. Simp is on here, but keep going.
Okay, let me say the United States abandoned Chiang Kai-shek. He had to go to Taiwan, and Mao Zedong took over. Right? They rather have China as a communist threat than Russia was as a Chinese threat, the communist threat. That's what happened with that. But my point I'm trying to make is, right, when you say industrialize, we have to industrialize. And the whole thing is this. This is where Pan-Africanism comes in, right? Africa can industrialize on its own. Kwame Nkrumah said that, right?
Can you give me an environmental industrialization that would be environmentally friendly? Because here it is. I'm from the Delta part of Nigeria, Isoko. If we do what you're saying, wait, Kala, hold on. If we do what you're saying, if we do what Kala is saying, and I want to industrialize, Kala, but if we do what you're saying, are you ready for the oil spills, which are already happening in the Delta state of Nigeria? Are you ready for the air pollution?
Hold up. The oil spills are happening right now, and you're still not doing anything.
No, I agree. So I'm saying, as we move forward, we have to do it in a way that is sensible.
Let me ask you a question. Do you basically, what you see, like I said, if you do if Nigeria does industrialize, do you realize that a whole new group of Nigerians and Africans are going to be in power? You and I are going to be on the outside. Could that be it? You won't have any relevance anymore?
Which is scary. This is what I'm trying to tell you. So when those Japanese, so Kala.
So long as there's poverty and white supremacy and everything. We got something to talk about, right?
Colin, do you see what you're doing? What you're doing?
Takes off and gets rich and start industrializing everything, and Europe
What
collapses and everything. Suddenly,
what you're
we don't have any relevance anymore.
what you're doing is you're not willing to acknowledge, as I said, Japan in their bid to modernize. And I'm not against you. It's like you're taking it personal, like I'm against you. I'm not against you. I'm saying let's walk carefully as we
move. We've been walking carefully for 500 years, man. We've been walking.
Okay. I mean, because if you feel that
march forward, bro.
Dr. Simp, I'd like to hear your opinion on what you have to say, because I don't want to take too much of your time. But let me hear what Dr. Simp has to say, maybe about what we're talking, or if he wants to bring something else to the topic.
Yeah, I think if we go down the whole industrialization route, we're just gonna be following suit to Western-based things, and we're never gonna catch up, right? If you, like you said, someone's been running for
exactly, we would need 5 Earths to industrialize Africa.
No.
However,
this is what I'm talking. This is exactly what I'm talking about. People who are not really educated and whatever they got. Missing the point. And give me it tonight. By the time we're done with this conversation tonight, people are gonna see what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I think you should, wait for someone to finish their point first before calling them uneducated, especially someone with a PhD, bro. Anyways, Africa right now is in a position whereby if we keep following the West, we're never going to catch up. It's just basic math, right? Someone is 200 yards ahead, you're 200 yards behind. Unless you do something like inventing, either a time machine and or a vehicle that can traverse speed and go faster, you're not going to get anywhere. So what is options for Africa is simple. Focus on agriculture, make sure that food is available for every single individual, and then focus on tech. That's all you have to do. You don't have to industrialize. You don't have to start killing Right. You don't have to start killing your trees, your environment.
Also, let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. Okay. First of all, let's say what is industrialization? Give me your example of
industrialization. As far as we understand, is
no. As far as we understand, give me a definition of industrialization. You make that
I'm
point.
Giving it to you, bro. Right? Industrialization, as far as we understand, right, is simply going out there. Let's say starting up a manufacturing route or some kind of processing plant, like Nigeria is doing with the cement factory, building that kind of stuff. Industrializing. Changing
that's not industrialization
into industrial industry.
No, that's not.
That's what the literal definition, bro.
No, that's not. That's not what that means. That's not what it means. So we don't have it. He don't know to have the definition. I'm gonna guess about you. say what industrialization is, then I'm gonna give you what industrialization means. Go ahead, bro.
You want me to define it?
Yeah, you define industrialization. Then basically, I'm gonna explain to you what industrialization is.
For you, the industrialization is Meiji Japan.
Oh, so okay, so he's smart. Comment. That's cute. That was cute. All right, now let me give it to you, right? Let me give it to you, right? The industrialization is this, right? You produce what you consume and consume what you produce, right? Hold up.
No, Dr. K, let him finish. Dr. K, let him finish.
Hold on. To almost 90%. But only country that ever got to that level was the United States. Well, I guess that's what before United States, pre-World War II United States, and post-war Japan, not to 90%, right? Now, industrialization means that there's 2 types of consumption in the world, right? There's consumer consumption and there's industrial consumption, right? If you have a factory that makes tires, what does that factory consume? Rubber. That's consumption, right? A steel mill consumes what? Scrap parts, iron ore.
Yeah.
Right.
Pig iron. Yeah.
Pig iron, right? And it produces molten steel, right? Now, every building that you have, now this guy, Dr. K, says, just concentrate on tech and agriculture, right? Okay, yeah, tech and agriculture. Where are you going to do it at? On a boat, on a raft, You need buildings. You need roads.
Can I respond to that when you're done?
Hold on. You need telecommunications. You need fiber optics. You need all this stuff like that. And also, industrialization means you're using less land because you expand vertically. Vertical expansion means this, that people are building apartment buildings. They're living on densely populated areas. And the more densely populated a nation is, right, the more wealth it produces, right? That's what they say, population density. More population density, higher the real estate values. When the state has people living in areas where their primary work is factories, office work, tech, everything in a certain area and everything, they have a certain standard of living, right? The monetary value of that land can be monetized, right? And you could borrow, the state central bank could borrow off the projected gross of that particular area, that 10 square miles right there. That's why they're building smart cities right now. While we're getting dumber and dumber, the Asians and everybody else are building smart cities. They got the industrial zone, the tech zone, everything all combined in one particular area. But let's not industrialize, even though industrialization can be turnkey. And the rest of the country, right, could be agriculture and everything. But they got those industrial zones and commercial zones, everything. What is wrong with that? The only thing that's wrong with that is because we don't want to look at the hard work. It takes hard work. And the black man, whether he's in Nigeria or whatever like that, do not like hard work. They don't like.
Can I answer that? Can I respond to that? You see, what you just said is no different from what Lord Lugard. I hate to even call him so-called Lord Lugard. Lugard and his side chick. She's actually the originator of the slave chicks in Nigeria. His whore, Flora Shaw, because she was with Goldie, right? He wasn't hitting it right, so she ran to Lugard because he had the pipe and he was busting her down. Told all our girls what they're doing now. But what you're saying, I'm gonna tell you. So what you're saying is exactly what Lugard said when he came to Africa. He said, for too long, the African male has exploited his woman. The African native has sat back and let his woman do all the work. What you just said, and I can send you the quotes. I have your email. So now let me tell you this. First, when you're saying about this wealth, and that's why I said we have to be careful. It is a historic fact. Even Walter Rodney, Chinweizu, all the best scholars that have written on African history, it is a fact that the greatest wealth ever created in Africa was not even with industrialization, and it was through intra-African trade. Mansa Musa did not trade with any. Can I finish? Can I finish? So write your points down and get back to me. Let me finish.
Can I finish? Let me finish. Let me finish.
Mansa Musa did not trade with any Bill Gates, with any Russian oligarch. Mansa Musa built his wealth in the continent, trading amongst the continent. Now, if I'm a farmer in Delta State, or if I'm a farmer in northern Nigeria, now you said I'm lazy. So why would I want to sit down there and bust my butt to create this large industry to feed millions of people so Khaled can have his buildings and some people from Atlanta? Can I finish, please? I'm almost done.
Hey,
so people from Atlanta.
You took a shot.
I'm almost done. I never took a shot at you. But for people to fly in from Atlanta or wherever they are in the diaspora so they can feel comfortable that Nigeria is now like a Bantustan, a new like Atlanta, Lagos type of thing. No, I'm fine sitting in my village, growing my 10 tubers of yam, feeding me and my 6 kids and my 2 wives, and I'm good. Now, when you come with your industrialization, Kala, guess what? I got to work in the factory. Now my wife has to work in the factory. Now the foreman is going to flirt with my wife because he has more money.
Are you done?
So I'm just saying, I'm not telling you we can't industrialize. I'm just saying, Kala, there's a price. And as an African, I don't know if I want to pay that price. Now, I'm not saying I want to pay the price that we're currently paying, where we're being treated like dirt in Ukraine, where we're being killed on the streets of Chicago. I don't want to pay this price, but I definitely don't want to pay the price you're talking about. So maybe we could come to a middle ground.
Words, basically, but I'm gonna give you a perfect example. I'm talking about why what you just said was a bunch of nonsense. A bunch of nonsense. First of all, when you talk about industrialization, are you talking about using tractors? Or are you talking mechanized farming? Let's not confuse. Are you talking about mechanized farming, where you basically centralize your crops? That's growing all over Africa. Africa's actually making progress in that field. Modern agriculture's thing. In fact, because of what you just said right here, and I don't want to embarrass you right here and everything.
No, say what you got to say.
Hold on. A few years ago, right? And I forgot what state it was in Nigeria. Because you said I'm content in everything modernization. An emir or king or governor or something invited white Zimbabwean farmers to come to rural Nigeria and they're all in rural to establish modern farms. You see how silly you sound?
No, notice the king did that. The person at the top, not the people at the bottom. Notice the king did that. You see? See, because there's a difference. That king has his children in London. That king has his children in London.
This is what I'm talking about. we get these people up here. They keep going back and forth when he asks them why you're in Ukraine. Well,
I'm not in Ukraine. I don't support people being in Ukraine.
You just got to telling me. You just got to telling me that the people we content. They're not content. They want to. They and the people around them want to know how to do farming. They want to do modern technique. They want to have irrigation. They want all the stuff like that you talk about.
No, they want modern farming because people like you are coming with the nice brochures telling them that they're going to get a bunch of capital and they can live in Banana Island.
You just got to saying a bunch of nonsense. Talk about they're perfectly happy. They weren't happy. They're so bad that they invited white farmers from Zimbabwe and gave them land and everything. Say, look, teach us what y'all know. You see what I'm talking about? When you're in your emotions and you're not thinking right.
I'm not emotional, sir. But go ahead.
Yeah, you are emotional.
I'm not. I'm definitely not emotional, Colin. What I'm trying to explain to you.
What you said was freaking absolute nonsense.
Okay, see, this is what I'm trying to say. I think that's the divide. There's that divide where those people at the top,
the ignorant black people, like I might hate that. And I like
no, you can say what you want. I mean, the problem is you're calling us ignorant.
And the bottom line is this. Bottom line, this is why College Genesis is here. I don't look. I love you, but I will.
But Colin, but this is why when
what you're saying is not going to work. You understand?
I agree. It may not work. It may not work.
What part of it failed? I just gave you an example. It failed.
It failed because we were minding our business and a bunch of extremists came to our land and put war on us. The Portuguese man of war came and started snatching our people off the coast. He was allowed to do that. He was blessed by the Pope of Rome. But let's not get into the history.
And also, let me look at it. I want to be absolutely sure about this one. Now, it wasn't even in the north, right? They invited these the whole bunch of Nigerian governors and states invited white Africans and white South African farmers to Nigeria, Black Africa, in a whole
Colin, do you realize, Colin, right now, let me tell you something that you don't realize. And let me say for all the Nigerians listening, if a Nigerian election was free and fair, 95% of all those leaders, emirs, kings would not even be there.
Oh, please. Well, please.
95% of those leaders won't be there. Do you know why? Because in the African tradition, Dinus went to Yoruba land, right? Dinus, you know what they tell the Oba when the Oba doesn't do what he's supposed to do? Hold on, Colin. Dinus, when the Oba, wait, Colin, hold on. When the Oba doesn't do what he's supposed to do, they tell the Oba to do an open calabash, which means go and commit suicide, kill yourself. That's what they tell the Oba when the Oba is not doing what he's supposed to do. We don't have that type of control over those leaders in Nigeria now. So all those leaders that you're talking about, see, Kala, all those leaders that you're talking about, Kala, you know, this is what you're saying. This is why Fela, Kala, this is why Fela had trouble. Because people, when Fela was talking about these leaders in Nigeria, saying like, yo, you guys are not doing the right thing. They're not held accountable. So let's not even get to the leaders. If we follow your way, there's a price to pay. And I don't know if people are willing to pay that price.
Let me ask you a question. Nigeria got one of the toughest mafias on the planet. They basically put the Italian mafia out of business, right? They're in Australia, they're in Spain, wrecking havoc and everything. Nigerians are basically all over the world moving.
Yet Ukraine not scared of that same mafia. Yet Ukraine ain't worried about that mafia.
The bottom line is this: so you're gonna tell me some politician in Nigeria, you guys couldn't, if you really say that the politicians are a problem, you guys couldn't took them out when Nigeria had more coups than any other country in Africa?
Khalid, do you realize that most of the coups in Africa were actually spearheaded by our government here?
Yeah, the CIA. Though.
No, I'm not doing that. Okay, so Khalid, let me ask you a question. How did the former head of Liberia, right, get out of prison? Was he not in prison?
Well,
was he not in prison? Yes or no?
Liberia. We're talking about Nigeria, bro. You know?
Oh no, okay. I'm just saying. But how did he get out of prison? Are you gonna dodge that one? Don't dodge it. How did Charles Taylor get out of prison? He was arrested in an American prison.
Hold on. You want me to
he was serving time. Go ahead, tell me.
Like I said, and I was hanging out with Charles Taylor's son when I was in Liberia, and his mom and everything like that, right? Bottom line, the story is this, right? When they had the coup in Liberia, right? This guy Queerpa, Charles Taylor, and was supposed to be the ones that take over the country when the coup happened, right? But what happened was Samuel Doe and the PRC put Samuel Doe in power, and he had the most loyalty among the things, so he took power. And so Charles Taylor became Minister of Procurement and everything. Kiopar was like a
No. Charles Taylor was in an
Oh.
American prison.
Oh, I know that. I know that.
So how did he get out?
You let me finish.
Go ahead.
Charles Taylor by the 80s said, look, man, Dough's out of control. After the coup, the second coup against Dough, against Kiopar, right? Charles Taylor left Liberia, right? Left Liberia and went to the United States, right? And somehow he was locked up in the United States on fraud charges and everything. And then somehow he was in Massachusetts locked up. And then he said, look, the CIA who said we made a mistake with Samuel Doe when people dying and everything like, or this coup's this is gone around, even though they had the elections in '86, right? The things going bad and everything. Well, we got to get out of here. So somebody let him out of jail, probably the CIA, right? He went to Libya, right? And he entered Liberia.
With Gaddafi. Don't gloss over that. Gaddafi was partnered with him. Him and Gaddafi were buddies. Go ahead.
He went through only because Gaddafi, the Tolbert had open relation with Libya, and then the Doe suspended all relationships with Russia, Libya, Cuba, and China, right? And got rid of the non, and then said let the Americans come in and militarize Liberia. Liberia was never militarized really until Samuel Doe took power. You know, that's where all the guns came from. Then Charles Taylor and Prince Johnson entered Liberia from entered Liberia from Ivory Coast and everything. Prince Johnson entered from Sierra Leone, I believe, and then Prince Johnson had the port, right, and he pretended to be Doe's friend. He said, "Hey, well, yeah, it's those Congo people. Yeah, the Congo people's enemies." Yeah. So he was saying Doe went to here, and we got there. His men shot him up, and that's they killed him. Doe was on the beach crying like a little baby when it's supposed to be a man crying like a little baby when that.
That's fine. I mean, we're not here to talk down on any of those leaders. I'm glad you admitted. I'm glad you admitted how foreign rule and foreign role plays a hand. I'm not saying that Africans aren't culpable. I'm not saying that they aren't culpable.
But here's the thing. Here's one thing you see on right. Now there's something different going on right here. Now we have we call Black responsibility and Black accountability, right? If the bottom line is this, if it's in my power, right? If somebody gets caught trying to undermine us with the CIA and everything, but it's not going to be, oh, the brother of the CIA made me do it. No more of that. No more of that. No more of this forgiving us, loving stuff and looking the other way and supporting corrupt leaders and everything, supporting despots and everything because they're Black. No, we don't want to do that. That's why I'm not the typical African American where you could sell a sob story to about our corrupt leaders. No. Like Brandon said on the show last year, it's you guys that are corrupt.
Yeah,
it's something in your soul that you guys are corrupt.
I have some comments to make. First of all, you redefine, definitions. Industrialization just means moving from a less industrialized nation to a more industrialized nation. What you mentioned earlier, you're talking about consequences of industrialization. That's not the same thing as a definition. You can't just redefine things to what you think is more important.
Let me ask you a question, Mr. K.
Well, Kyla, let him finish. Kyla.
He's finished. I got his point, right? The problem is this. You, Mr. K, do you live in, where do you live at?
It's Dr. K, but yeah.
Dr. K.
I live in Kenya. Yeah.
Oh, you live in Kenya. Oh, congratulations, right? Now, in Kenya, right? And now Kenya has a problem, right? Do you know most people who receive a salary works for the Kenyan government? You know, can we agree on that?
Wait, say that again?
Most people in Kenya who work on the salary, the government is the biggest employer in Kenya. Can we agree on that?
I don't know. Maybe.
Oh, you do know that. You do that. Let's admit it. Uganda and Kenya have the government bureaucracy.
No, I don't know that.
That's how people. Yes, you do.
Kyle, he doesn't know. He doesn't know. He doesn't.
You question the doctor. You don't know that simple thing, man. That the government's the biggest employer in Africa because you don't want to industrialize. Because industrialize means hard work. You know,
you're missing my point. You gotta let me finish my point before I explain what I mean. Right. According to history, every form of industrialization has meant building factories and so-called industries and focusing on things which, consequently has increased, carbon emissions into the air, all that stuff, making things less sustainable. Now, if you're talking about, transcending that, Africans can focus on things that can still give them, let's say, money, power, prestige, and all those things without having to go down that route. For example, technology. And we're talking about programming, for example. You don't have to go start making factories and manufacturing, let's say, all these things China does, what you could do is focus on the skills sector using mentality. So programming, things like that, soft skills that don't require you actually changing and transversing your landscape and making it less bearable for people to breathe and or causing such damage like that. You can focus on renewable technology as well. Like I said, Ethiopia has this dam that they're building. If Congo could build a similar dam, and again, make sure that they can produce electricity in those sort of sustainable manner, that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about
All right, let me
working
ask you a question.
that
right?
sort of field.
What is
There's no
the
need for us to
electricity?
build
What is the electricity going to eventually power? Factories, right?
No, people's houses.
Well, dude, are we living in an alternate universe or something? People
No.
could use freaking kerosene to power their house. You know, the
No.
electricity
You can use
on the continent is used to power thing. Everything you see in Kenya, right? Do you live in a village or do you live in a city?
I live in a city.
Okay, you live in a city, right? So
Right.
you live in a city. Let me ask you a question, right? Do you eat in restaurants?
Nope, I cook. I'm a chef.
Okay, you chef. Okay, you're chef. Okay, do you own a vehicle?
No, I don't drive.
So yeah, like I'm saying, you don't drive, you don't go out and stuff like that. You know, do you wear what kind of clothes do you wear?
Just normal clothes.
Notice, Dr. K, everything he's pointing you to is capitalist consumption.
No, so
So he wants you to consume more than what you need. So he's already pushing you, and he's going to accuse me of being a socialist now, which I'm not. But you see, he's already pushing you towards excessive consumption. You can see it, and that's what the development argument is for these people.
Check this out. It's not about consumption, right? It's that you consume what you need. What you consume, you need certain things, right? You need food, you need shelter, your house. You live in a house, Mr. K. Dr. K.
Yes, I do live in a house.
Now, your house? Where's your house made out of?
It's made out of rock, I guess, like bricks.
Do you have a modern house or do you have a hut? You live in a village.
I live in what modern house? Yeah, brick house.
All right. Do you have a television?
No, but I got a screen for my laptop for work.
So you have do you have a refrigeration?
No.
You have no refrigeration.
No microwave.
Do you have a stove?
I have a gas cooker.
A gas cooker. Okay. Okay. Do you have a toilet?
Yes.
So you have a toilet. I don't understand. You have a toilet that flushes. You have a shower.
Yeah.
So you have a toilet, shower, but no refrigerator. I mean, geez. Okay. All right. So
he's gonna be a sales. He's gonna sell you a product. Watch. Don't worry. This is how the salesmen work.
I'm not gonna sell you anything. I'm just trying.
Dynast, I read your book. This is how the salesmen work. They find the problem and then they usher in the need.
No, I'm not here to sell anything. Dynast sold me for years. Have I ever sold anything on this show? Have I sold anything on this show?
Only thing you sold is your book, which is fine. It's just your book.
Yeah, I sold my book.
Why are you so obsessed with capitalism?
If I could give this away to everybody, I would. But I can't.
Post the link. I'll buy it. Listen, I support my brothers. I'll buy it. Post that link. I'll still buy it on Kindle.
Oh yeah, people go check it. Man, buy the order book, man. Don't get no
Color. Let me make my point. I do believe Africans need power, right? Because you can't protect your way of living unless you have some form of power. That means you need leverage. And in this case, let's say we don't really have nuclear weapons. That's true. So we can't really protect ourselves against some of these these people that have negative aspects towards some of our living standards. However, I will say that your mentality, brother, and I've talked about this before, is dangerous to the African person. This is a elitist mentality that is the same mentality that the Liberians had. And that is a fact. Based on everything we've had this discussion, you do. It's not just you think it's a better life to have a more modernized.
It is a better life. Yes, it is a better life.
Fine.
It is a better life.
But there's something more to it. There's an elitism that goes on.
Kala, are you willing to pay the cultural and social cost for your
cost, man?
Because Kala, listen, those Japanese, I would love for you to go online.
You guys are sending tens of thousands of people to Ukraine to live in a modern world, but don't want to do it in your own country.
I'm not sending them. And Kala,
this is what this conversation is about.
There's no difference.
You don't want to build
There's no difference. Kala, hold on, Kala. There's no difference between a Nigerian who's running to Ukraine to be closer to white Jesus and an African American who is blindly following the Democrat Party. It is the same psychosis. It is the same. It's the same thing because it shows you a psychological need to be close to whiteness.
No.
And that's
We have
something.
community here.
Okay,
We have we
it's
we
the
have black-
same.
See,
It's
this
the
is what I'm
same
talking-
psychological need.
You can try to open talk me all you want, but you're gonna lose.
No, I'm not. I wouldn't do
Okay?
that. Go ahead.
The bottom line is not the same thing. We have African Americans have institutions here. You know, we have a community here. We've been here for 400 years.
What
It's not the same thing.
institutions? What communities? What
We have
institutions and what communities?
165 African American institutions of higher learning.
Like,
Okay, other than HBCUs, what other
Okay, so
institutions?
other than HBCUs, what not? Which we call? We have billionaires here. We have millionaires here. We have a lot of here. And here in Virginia,
Okay, and no, but don't even ask him that. But Kala,
every field is African American. What are you talking about?
and that's great. But Kala,
and we avoid white people. You know what I'm saying? What are you talking about?
Kala,
You know what I'm saying?
if that's the case, if you avoid white people, how many percentage of your people vote Democrat in this country?
Well,
Black people.
I don't care about that. I don't care about the voting process. Everything.
But you're glossing. You see, you have a habit of glossing over
I'm saying
things.
the fact that you left your country voluntarily.
Actually, I did it. My parents had sex, and my mother and father came here, so they decided to come here. I didn't choose that.
The country voluntarily, right? They let
Can I prove you wrong? Can I prove that statement wrong? You see, this is what I said in the chat. No, let me prove to you. Let me prove to you. Let me prove to you and I put it in the chat. You're forgetting the history. When did Africans start leaving Africa in mass? Fela made a great song about this. I keep going back to Fela. I call myself philosopher, but he talked about this with the IMF structural adjustment programs, which he called Suck African People. Once they came with those structural adjustment programs, that was the beginning of the end for the institutions that Africa had. And that was when you did not see Africans in mass. You would not see any Africans in Ukraine in 1950 leaving Africa, 1960, even as late as 1980. As soon as those IMF programs. So are you telling me that the Confessions of an Economic Hitman is a false book?
What you're saying is you're stupid and it's a white man's fault. Why
I never said anything about stupidity and the white man's fault. I'm saying the book called The Confessions.
Every time right now, Nigeria and Ghana is taking out more IMF loans. If somebody hold a gun to their head, tell them to get in debt.
Again, this is what I'm trying to tell you. This is the cycle, right? The leaders he doesn't. Dr. K, you know what he doesn't want to acknowledge? Those leaders that are picked. Many of them. I don't want to go too deep. This is not in the show. Many of them belong to. Many of them. You see that Dr. K. He doesn't. He doesn't understand because I would love to take him to Nigeria.
No, I don't understand.
I would love to take you. No, I would love to take you to Nigeria when PDP and APC are holding their elections, and you see what a Nigerian election looks like. You understand? I want to take you there when you can see a Nigerian election for your eyes. Maybe you see him.
We can keep it something very controversial right here. You know.
Yeah, say it. No, we're talking.
I'm gonna say something very controversial. I hope people don't hate me, but I don't give a damn afterwards, right? I really don't believe in elections for Africa. I don't. I don't believe in democracy or the election. I believe in building an African technocracy with the smartest people that look up the word technocracy, Mr. Dr. K. Sim.
And that's great. That's great. You would, and what you would do, Dr. K, you see what he would end up doing to us.
I believe in technocracy, you know.
This is the continuation of that Dubois talented mentality.
Talk about Japan. Yep. I didn't finish while talking about what Japan, right? Do you know it took Japan 60 years before they had their first election? Why? Because they knew that, just like you said, the majority of people were ignorant. They wouldn't want to give up their superstition. Same thing you're going through right now. What cost would it have and everything? So they said, we got to make decisions across the board for the betterment of our people, or else we're going to be destroyed, right? We're taken over and conquered, right? So the Japanese didn't have their first election until 1925, something like 50 years after it became a republic. Right? Why? Because the people were not ready. You know, the people were not ready. So it was like 2 generations before they had elections, right? And they said, now we're ready to for people to choose who they want to represent. Before that, it was the technocrats and the bureaucrats that built Japan into a modern industrial power. You know, now the people.
That same technology, the same technology you're talking to did not free the Haitians. The Haitians tapped into African technology. They tapped into voodoo to free themselves.
After World War II, right there. They gave the women a vote. Now let me ask you a question, G and K. How much trade? I told you that Japan and China does $400 billion worth of trade with each other, right?
I don't know the answer to the question, so
Hold
go
on,
ahead. Tell me what the answer is.
Hold on. South Korea and Japan does like 200 billion. South Korea and Southeast Asia does $300 billion. Singapore's in there, so like, billions of dollars worth of trade go between Asian countries. Can you tell me how much trade and billions of dollars that go between Ghana and Nigeria and South Africa?
It's very low. The intra-African trade is very low. If you look at the African Development Bank,
but you don't want to
it's
build
very low.
railways. Oh, look, you don't want to build railways. You don't want to build steamships. You don't want to.
But Dr. K, he will not admit, like I just told him earlier, that Mansa Musa.
This is what I'm talking about.
Can I finish? Can I finish? Can I finish? You see, Kala, no one is debating that you're wrong. Kala, cool down. You see, Kala, drink some star beer. Dynast, you got to send him Origin. You got to send him some Origin so he can drink. Give Kala some Origin so he can cool down. Kala, you need some Origin. Look, even with what you're saying, at the end of the day, Kala, Mansa Musa was the wealthiest man in Africa, and he didn't trade with the Zulus.
That was a myth.
Okay, it's a myth. So let's say he did. Let's say it's wrong. But still, you had African empires. No one in Benin, in what we call Benin in Nigeria, was trading with the Zulus, and they built great wealth. So I'm not saying. Can I finish, Kala? Kala, let me finish. Wait, let me finish. Oh, you can debunk it in 2 seconds, please. Nobody in Benin was trading with the Zulus, and Benin was able to build wealth, right? Even though they were in the slave trade, the Arochukus built wealth. So many different, the Ashanti, the Fanti, they were building wealth, intra-African trade, and they weren't doing this long-distance trade. Now, I can agree with you that in the modern world, Kenya and Nigeria need to trade, but how are we going to do it? That's the question.
Lord,
and so
it's worse than I thought.
Go ahead, Kala. Go ahead.
If this is what we got, this is next generation. We are so screwed.
So, Kala, would I be allowed to vote in your technical?
We are so freaking screwed. You know,
would I be allowed to vote?
You mean to tell me that you can't? Let me give you an example, right? Okay, you say how we're gonna do that, right? Let me tell you how Japan did it. Japan said, you know something, we need all this machinery imported from the West. We need all stuff like this from the West. We don't have the ships to do it. So do they sit there like you are with the thumb up their ass? No. They say, you know something, we're gonna contract shipping companies from the West, right? That'll give them incentive not to invade us, right? Take us over. We're going to give them business opportunity. So basically, each port in Japan, right? They said we're going to modernize our ports, right? And let foreign ships flagship us, right? They're going to be basically shipping goods around our islands. We're going to connect our ports and everything. They're going to be shipping stuff from overseas and everything like that. They're going to create the pattern.
And slaves, Chinese slaves.
No, hold on.
They were selling Chinese slaves.
That's a no lie.
You see, he won't admit to the atrocities. Kala would never admit.
When you guys are jealous, when you guys sit in your little jealous little hellholes, you want to discredit other people that's doing successful. You know.
Why am I jealous? I'm fine in my Nigeria. I'm fine in my Nigeria. If you remove the corruption, my Nigeria is fine. I don't need Nigeria to look like Atlanta. I don't need a banana island of Nigeria again, man. All those guys that you see there, they are divorced from their culture. Like, let's be real. Dynast has been to Nigeria. All those Nigerians that he saw on Banana Island are different from the Nigerians he saw in the village. Dynast, can you admit to that? Wait, let's ask Dynast. Dynast, is there a difference? Dynast, is there a difference between the Nigerians you see on Banana Island, Victoria Island, and the Nigerians in the village? So that's what I'm saying, Kala. Let me be a village man. Kala, I'm fine being a village man with my 2 wives and my small land.
You know,
South Koreans and Japanese have the highest suicide rate, right?
They live in swamps on the water. You want Nigerians to live like that?
Say again?
The swamp people in Benin and Nigeria, where they live on stilts and they live in the water and stuff like that, and when they poop in the same water.
Wait, but Dr. K, he won't talk about the Italians that live in Venice. He won't talk about the Italians that live in Venice on water, or how in Holland and the Netherlands they took over the water. He won't talk about that.
The bottom line, but that's a different. That water is clean. This is, dude. Come on, man.
I agree with you. Look, listen. When I went to my village, listen, Kala. When I went to my village, Kala. Listen. Do you know what you're saying? I agree with you.
I dare you to go up to any Nigerian with your stupid backward Western.
Okay, you're right. Yes, you're right.
Smack you right in the head.
Because most of those Nigerians are colonized. This is what Fela was telling us, colonial mentality. Right. But listen, wait, Kala, listen, look. When I went to my village, Kala, Kala, you're right. And that's why you guys stay in Lagos and don't ever leave. But Kala, let me tell you something. Look, when I went to my village, I challenged myself. When I go back, I need to start a cleanup campaign. I need to clean up my own village. Let me tell you the problem of Africa. One of the biggest problems. The biggest problem that I see is that we all want to develop the city. Now, Dinas, you've been to Lagos. Do you know that if we develop our villages, when the British came, when the Portuguese were coming and trading with us, Calabar was actually the capital of Nigeria. People don't even know that. That was the original capital of so-called Nigeria. Wait, Kala, oh God, Kala, can you chill out for 3 seconds? Stop calling people's wisdom. Now, let me land. When people were trading in the villages, right, they built their village economies. I believe if Nigeria is serious about what you're saying, then what they need to do, all the villages need to have Wi-Fi. All the villages need to have light, electricity. So now when you build the villages, what will happen? People will leave the cities. They will leave Lagos. They don't have to crowd the cities. They don't have to crowd Kinshasa. They don't have to crowd all those places. They can build their villages and go back. Because if you look at, for example, look at America now. If you go to any state in America, everybody's not living in New York City, suffering on top of each other in the trains. Some people live in parts of Atlanta, outside of Atlanta, right? They call it Greater Atlanta area, but they living in the towns out there. And those towns are small, hick towns, but they have good roads, they have light. So let's build our villages. But you see, all those Nigerians that you said that you'd rather be with, they don't want to build their villages. They want Atlanta in Lagos. They want Banana Island. And let me tell you, it will never work. The ancestral spirits, the juju that is in our land will never allow you to work. They will fail. They will fail. I'm telling you.
Yo, Gassimer, you talk for a long time. Let me speak, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
Hold up. There's a power thing down in Banana Island. I saw on Google Earth, right? Did you put the juju spirits on that thing to fall down? You know what I'm saying? Did you put the hex on Banana Island? Are you guys out there?
I pray Banana Island. Let me tell you.
Shakalaka, boom, shakalaka,
Yes, you know why? Let me tell you. Those people who built Banana Island, go and Google Morocco. Fela made a song about Morocco. They destroyed Morocco to build all of those places. And as they destroyed the people, killed those people for their development, may never be better for them. In the ancestors' name, they will never develop. That development they are looking for, they will die.
Are you
They can't get it. I'm not a Christian.
No, you, Kala.
Oh, I don't know if Kala's a Christian.
Yo, look, all right. So, see,
I think you are, right?
Look, if, like I said, I'm first and foremost a black man in the world.
But you're a Christian second, right?
Hold on. Let me finish, right? Nobody ever walked up to me and said, "You damn Christian." They always, but I did hear "you goddamn nigga" before, right? So I have to go with "I'm black." You know what I'm saying?
Okay. But you're also Christian, right?
Well,
right. Now, let me give some context here.
Look.
You know, Christianity and development often go hand in hand.
Right. Yeah. You're one of the people that shift our people across the whole world.
I know you think you got me because give me a chance to explain myself, right? I practice martial arts, right? I'm in the martial arts, right? I study Taoism, right? I study Buddhism. You know, I study Zen and stuff like that. Am I Buddhist? No. I study things in Christianity, right? I study Islam, you know?
Do you believe in Jesus Christ, the white Messiah, as your Lord and personal slaver?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, then you're.
I believe in that, but the bottom line, in the real world, what does that mean anything?
No, there's a point here, right? The point here is that, look, Christianity is a mentality that you have. You don't believe in our old customs. You're going to come colonize us again, like it happened in Liberia.
Like I said,
Dr. K, you know what he is? He's a materialist.
Yeah, you're a materialist, brother.
He's a materialist. You know, he's a Marx. He's actually a materialist. He's one of those people that will say, "I don't believe in anything." No, hold on, Kala. Let me tell you what you are. Kala will say, "I don't believe in anything." Wait, Kala. This is you. Wait, Kala. Hold on, Kala. This is you, Kala. This is you, Kala. You will say,
"No, that's not me." Let me explain to what I'm talking about. Let me explain to you.
Okay, go ahead. I'll tell you what you are.
I believe in modernity. I don't believe in westernization. That means that
that's the same thing.
No, it's not. See,
Dr. K, wait, let him finish. Go ahead.
Hold up. This is why the idea that Africans built civilization is a myth. He just said that Africans.
Yeah, right. We didn't build civilization. If this is what you call civilization, we didn't build it.
Africans built civilization. But Africa's civilization, this stuff has been there thousands of years. Running water.
Kala, you can't say Africans built civilization in Igbo. You can't say it in Yoruba.
And then you're rejecting modernization.
because you can't say it in Igbo or Yoruba. It's not in my language.
So,
I cannot say
Kala,
Africans built civilization in
This is
Isoko.
what I'm talking about. Now I see why there's so many Africans
No,
in
no.
Europe right
Wait,
now.
Dr. K, let me tell him what it is.
This is
Ka-
what
Ka-
we're
this is
talking about. This
okay.
is
Wait,
why-
Kala,
this
wait.
is
Let me
why
tell you the
there's a-
mistake you're
why
making.
Portugal, you know?
Kala, this is the mistake you're making. What you're doing, this is what we call materialism versus idealism, right? And materialism failed because you will say, oh, I only believe in things I can see and touch. But at the end of the day, that same building factory that you're talking about started in the mind and the idea of the architect who thought about it, then drew it on paper before it was built by the foremen and the bricklayers and the masons. So the idea still
let me ask you a
ruled.
question. Let me ask you
You're
a
a
question.
materialist.
Hold on. It's not materialism. You know what materialism is? If I'm the last least materialism is you basically value your life. I want land, infrastructure, nature, and build Africa. I don't care about materialism. But to do that, you do need industrialization. You need wealth.
So-
You need
No,
wealth
no.
creation.
You know why we don't need industrialization? Because I've told you guys this point already. The idea. Hold on, wait, Kala, wait. Now you said the point.
Nobody's gonna listen to anything you have to say, bro.
You're right. That's good. That's fine. I'm okay with that.
No one's gonna
Listen,
listen to what I say.
that's okay, Kala. That's okay.
You just expose yourself to be a buffoon. You know,
Yeah.
nobody.
You're right. Thank you. You see, Kala, at this level, we should be past insults. We shouldn't be doing that. We're grown. We're adults. Now, look, this is the thing. Kala, no, we're adults, and you're my brother. At the end of the day, I still have love for you. But look, listen.
This is what we'll do. This is what we'll do. Gas them up, Dr. K Simp, then Kala, you'll close out. So make your statement. Kala, don't let them finish. Kala.
All right,
Everybody got a minute and 30 seconds each person, then we're closing out. All right, go ahead, gas them up.
No, go ahead. Look, Dr. K, go.
Okay, yeah. So look, Kala, I know where you're going with this, right? But I think if we just your mindset to me seems too much like a westernized Christian, Jesus, white Jesus, Lord and personal slaver kind of mentality, and that is dangerous. I believe if Africa talk about the whole diaspora, right? Needs to develop. We need to actually develop our own philosophy. First, we need to go down to what do we want? What sort of life do we want to live 2,000 years from now? If we just simply copy the West and paste it, what will happen is we're going to take on this sickness of modernity, as you call. For example, what you mentioned earlier about people wanting to change their genders, etc. All that stuff. We're going to be all these things are consequences of each other. If you truly want to develop, as you say, we need to think about it. Really talk about deep philosophical stuff about do we prefer the material? Do we prefer creating something that's more materialistically
All right, next.
or do we prefer doing that, right? So the point here is African-based philosophy is the main thing, and then we can build from that. If you want to build from that, what do we actually value? What do our great grand whatever values? That's what I would say.
But who is our? Who is our?
Our is the African diaspora.
Because the bottom line is, I know a lot of people from Kenya in my BAO group they don't think nothing like you.
Well, yeah, because they haven't exposed themselves to that.
Because they're not stupid like you are.
Kala, why are we so insulting, man, brother? We don't need to do that, brother. It's not necessary. You're right. Okay.
You guys are talking.
Okay, good.
You know what I'm saying?
All right. So let me. Okay. So let me.
Kala, you call this man stupid? Come on, Kala, apologize. Kala, apologize. You called him stupid. You called him stupid. Apologize, Kala.
But what you said was not good.
Kala, did you understand what I said? I said we need to think about a philosophy system. What you're building your whole mentality on is Western philosophy based on the Western philosophers. It literally is. It's a consequence of Western civilization.
That's an insult right there, right? That's an insult right there. Because first of all, you're speaking English right now. If you were really so in your thing, you'd be speaking in your own native language. Is that correct?
No, I can't because we can't communicate. That's
because
the basic fact.
No. Oh, do you know your native language?
Of course I do. I speak Swahili.
So hold on. You speak Swahili. Swahili is not even indigenous to Africa. You know that, right?
Really? Bro, Swahili is 80% Bantu and
Arabic,
let's say 15
Persian and everything. It's not a Bantu language.
No. Listen, you can't educate
Dr. K, don't get involved that. He's right. Let's just give him that.
Swahili is just like
English. Swahili is 80%
it's a freaking gutter language,
Dr. K, don't even worry about that. He's right. If he says he's right, yeah, it's an Arab slave. Okay, we agree. But at the end of the day, those Kenyans that support you, Kala, those Kenyans, wait, Dr. K, what he doesn't understand is those Kenyans that support you at the end of the day are not spiritually in tune with the ancestors of Kenya, and Dr. K is. That's why those Kenyans will keep living in Kinshasa, in the cities, in high rises, failing.
What are you gonna do?
So let me tell my point. Let me say my point and be done. Now, I want to point out for the audience, because there's a lot of things that we have to understand. One, the idea of the modern day nation state, and I've told you this already, is new. The passports were just recently invented. You can go and check this out. Even in so-called Rome, nobody in Rome had a passport. Nobody in Oyo State, in Oyo Empire had a passport. These things are new. These borders are all new. These are modern day ways of thinking. There's a great book you can read called The King Has Two Bodies. As a matter of fact, the philosopher Foucault used it in one of his theses, right? The King Has Two Bodies by Kantorowicz. So it talks about how the idea of the nation state was transformed in Europe from the concept of king, that Machiavellian state, to the modern day nation state. And that came with a lot of social upheaval. That came in lots of, even this so-called industrialization. Do you know the reason why we have a weekend? When the capitalists first built factories, they wanted everybody working Monday through Saturday. The only day off was Sunday. It took people in unions to fight and die. People died. They blew things up. They died before we could even get a so-called weekend. So at the end of the day, Kala, I am agreeing with you. We should not be. Let me finish. I'm almost done with my statement. Please, now, can I finish? Kala, let me finish my statement. You can address, write your points down. Let me finish. I agree with you that we should not be living in shanty towns, suffering with poverty. We shouldn't be dying of malaria. We shouldn't be in Ukraine. Let me finish. Oh, God. Kala, please, let me cool down. We shouldn't be.
Don't insult Dr. K. He lives in a shanty town. Leave him alone.
Can I finish, please? Thank you. So I agree. We shouldn't be suffering, right, with malaria and beach. We shouldn't be in Chicago getting gunned down, in Newark getting gunned down, in Compton, in Brooklyn, East New York getting gunned down. We shouldn't be living like that. That is savage. But at the end of the day, there is a way that we can move forward. And I think we all need to collectively come up with that solution. One that takes into account. I'm done. I'm almost done. One that can I finish my statement? Kala, chill out, brother. Chill. Kala, God, Jesus, Kala, you gotta chill out, man. You gotta chill out. Kala, drink some Origin. Kala, drink some Origin. Kala, drink some Origin. Kala, drink some Origin. Okay, look. At the end of the day, look. At the end of the day, right? When we come up with a development model that takes into account our ancestral lineage, our heritage, then we might be able to develop our villages to be just as developed as everywhere that you want. That's what I think.
Love is shaga to you, brother. I agree, man. Let me finish.
Actually, the highest rated place in Nairobi is Karen, and Karen is basically a village.
Dr. K, like it's my turn to talk, man. You know.
Hey, guys, let Kala close out. Then we're close. Go ahead, Kala. Close. Kala, got 2 minutes. The
bottom line is, Dr. K lives in the shanty town. I get that, you know.
Yes, I live in Kibera.
Gasimum. I don't want to live in a shanty town, but how about that? You know, Gasimum basically wants to live in a shanty town, right? You know,
I'm in the hood. I'm in Ajegunle. Diners knows I'm in Ajegunle when I go to Nigeria.
Wants to live in a shanty town.
I'm in the second largest slum in Africa.
Hold on. You guys, let me talk. Gasimum lives in Shade Town, but keep sending me emails, bro. Brilliant lighting. I don't stop sending me emails. I like him. You know, he wants to live in the shed. He has a romantic idea of the shanty town.
I will take you to Ajegunle. I'll take you to Ajegunle when I'm coming to Nigeria next year. I'll take you.
It's good for spending the afternoon, get to know the people, but I'm not trying to live there. No, I'm not doing that. You know. And then somebody in the chat room said, "Call so emotional." No, it's like this. This is what I'm talking about. People want to tone police you, right? If you say so, oh, it's emotional like that. No, I'm stating what I'm saying is facts and everything. If I sound emotional, that's sorry. I apologize to anybody like that, right? But what I will say is fundamentally true. Black people have this thing, especially with black men. Anytime a black man has a bass in his voice, speaks with authority, and bottom line is somebody said he sounds feminine. I would like you to either come here on the show, cam up, right? You know, I know you're not gonna meet me in person and say that, right? But at least come on the show, link in the chat room, and say it to my face. You're not going to do that. You'll sit in the chat room like a little punk and then talk like these guys at least have the nerve to come on the show and confront me. You know, everybody's terrified of College Genesis. Everybody fear me. When I come after you, man, I'm going to destroy you. You know, nobody wants to cam out and everything like that. So the bottom line is keep your mouth shut and learn something. You know? So the bottom line is this. We have
Kala, man, you gotta get a hug, bro. Please, when you finish this, play some Gregory Isaacs, run a bubble bath, hug your beautiful Liberian wife, eat some good food, and make love to that woman, brother. I know she loves you. Get some Gregory Isaacs in the background. You know what I'm saying? Get some night nurse playing and relax.
Hold on. Let me. I'm supposed to be closing out. The bottom line is this: I want to ask a question. The question was asked about Africans living in from what I heard just tonight. Okay, if the Africans living in Ukraine right now are listening to you, they're gonna stay in Ukraine. They're gonna say, "That's what I got to go back to." You know what I'm saying? I might as well take my chances with the Russians. You know, you guys made no case for the like that. Nobody wants to live in your
GDP per capita of Ukraine is less than Nigeria, less than Kenya.
Shantytown. They want development. They want infrastructure. They want development.
Because you're a salesman, you keep selling them the snake oil. You keep telling them, "Oh, if you bring your family, we'll all live in Banana Island." You keep bringing your Banana Island fantasy. Stop selling us these dreams.
You're saying African Americans have sold them the dream of living.
No, I'm saying you, not African American. I'm saying you.
Yes, imagine. The spirits of his ancestors took him to the same country where they colonized Liberia. Why did he go to Liberia? He wanted to colonize Liberians again. The spirit
Liberia. And we got to do a show on that. Second, I think we got to do another show on Liberia, Dynas, because these fools using black people. Black people cannot colonize Liberians. Look, yo, super simp, right? Black people can't colonize other black people. You know.
So, Carla, at the end of the day, why are you failing? In not in life, but I'm saying, why is your ideas failing? Why is it that when you go to the village,
we just had a bicentennial?
No. What I'm saying is, I'm saying it's failing because your theories have been promoted for the last hundreds of years by many African intellectuals like you, right, Nkrumah, and they failed. They failed when they got to the villages. The spirit said, "We don't know you." We said you look like an Atlanta man. We don't want you.
It takes every African country in the world failed it. Just give it up. Just give.
Yes, Africa. Of course, he failed because they are not African. Those countries are not African. They are Bantustans.
So in other words, basically, when they're failing, they're not Africans, right? They're not Africans.
They're not African countries. I didn't create Nigeria. My ancestors woke up in some white lady who left her husband who wasn't hitting it right and ran to another dude who had bigger pipe. She gave us the name Nigeria.
Check this out.
Flora Shaw. Her first man wasn't hitting it right, so she ran to the other dude. Lugard.
I have to do a public service announcement tonight, right? All the Nigerians in Ukraine, stay there. Because this is what's waiting for you in Nigeria. Backwards.
Yes, stay there. Please don't come. I beg. Please. All of you Nigerians. Yes, let me. You know what? Any of you Nigerians that are in America, in Europe, in London,
stay there.
Yes. Listen, Kala, I agree with you. Let me put it for the ancestors. Let the ancestors carry this. All of you Nigerians that are there. Kala, I agree. Kala, listen, Kala, wait, I agree. Kala, all of those Nigerians that are in London, hiding, cleaning toilets, all those in America that have PhDs that are hiding, stay in America, please. When the spirits are ready to deal with all of you people, don't ever come back. Stay in Atlanta, stay in your high rise in London, in UK, stay in your Ukraine. Don't ever come back, please. Leave us in our village. Yes, let it be worse. We don't want what you're selling. Respect our no.
Kala, were you happy in America?
These guys want all the modernization. These guys are on internet right now, right?
Were you happy in America?
And they take subways, trains, everything, but they don't want no modernization. Like I said, these people are backward Africans, right? And the backward African is the enemy within. These people right here.
You sound like Lord Lugard. This is what Lugard said to justify colonizing Nigeria. He said for too long, you guys can Google this in the chat. He said for too long, the African native man has exploited his woman. So think about this. There was a question, and I'll end this with this, Dynasty. I know you got to go. They asked the old Native American chief. I don't know if the story is true. It might have been fake, but they asked him, they said, hey, Two Eagles or whatever your name is. You've seen the white man's civilization. You've seen everything that he brought. What do you think? The old Native American chief sat back and looked, and he said, well, before the white man came, the Native American man spent all day hunting, chasing buffalo, spent all night having sex. The medicine man gave us medicine for free. Only the white man was stupid enough to think he could fix a system like that. Thank you. Only a white man was stupid enough to think he could fix a system like that.
How did that end up for the Native American?
Because the aggressors came, the chemical people came.
That's what I'm talking about. You're weak. You're weak.
That doesn't mean I'm weak. That doesn't mean I'm weak.
You can't even build your own guns. You can't even manufacture your own weapons. So you're
I don't want to
helpless.
because those
You
people
don't
have
want
lost their
weapons.
minds.
You don't want
I don't
weapons.
want to lose my mind to be like
Oh,
them.
man,
They've
the
lost their
Bible
minds.
talks about
They are
weapons.
building nuclear weapons. Let
Hold
them
on, first of
continue
all,
their cycles.
a few years ago, the Nigerian government asking Barack Obama for weapons to fight Boko Haram. That's embarrassing. That's embarrassing.
Dr. K, this guy doesn't realize
You
that the
two
people he
guys
wants to
are
copy.
a couple of buffoons.
Yeah.
Yes, Dr. K, do you know what he doesn't realize? Wait, Dr. K, do you know what he doesn't realize? Good, you are weak. These same people you want to copy were the same people burning their women in Europe during the so-called age of enlightenment. They were burning their women. You want to forget that part. These
Yeah.
so-called enlightened men, educated men, were burning their women. Why? Why were they burning their women, calling them witches?
Yeah,
Those were the
that's
women that
right.
had the ancestral knowledge, that the practices, they burned them and killed them. So continue with your development, Kala.
All I know
You will
is,
come to Africa and burn all our women
I know
to
is
develop us.
I have to apologize to the Africans who waited till the last minute to go. It's not their fault, right? It's people like this that's waiting for them in Africa, you know.
But Carla, you really missed my main point. My main point was that we need to
nobody
have
wants to live next to you in a shanty town, bro.
Kibera is not that bad. We got water.
It is bad. That's
Hey
all.
guys, let's do this. Let's go ahead and close out. Hey, Colin, how can people reach you? How can people reach you?
Hey, I have my show coming on tonight, DeVilleradio.com. You download the app and everything, Colin Nation Radio Show. If you want to hear real fire, you listen to my show. You know, millions of listeners around the world, 11 p.m. Eastern, every Wednesday night. Because this show is my warm-up, and I go to do my show and everything. And also, if you want to join the BAO's Black African Infrastructure African Project, if you believe in infrastructure, science, technology as a way forward for the Black race and African included, and leave goofball like this alone, when that, join our social network. It's BAIO Africa.
We love you, brother. We love you.
Yeah, I love you too, but you're goofballs. BAIO Global Pipeline, on your App Store, Play Store, whatever like that. Join the revolution. Link up with all different types of chapters around African country. We got a chapter for Kenya, Uganda, Liberia. Liberia chapter is booming right now, and Sierra Leone chapter. The bottom line, things are booming right now. We got business people in Sierra Leone and Liberia linking up together in Ghana and go. It's just unbelievable. The main thing is we're all on the same page. I got Nigerians who are on the same page, Kenyans on the same page, and we all know that we have to build Africa. We men got to take responsibility. These two guys on the chat room in the thing right. These are girly men,
Okay,
girly men.
but Kala, I promise you wouldn't say that in my face, though. Kala, you wouldn't say that in my face. You wouldn't say that in my face. I promise you that. If you came with me to the Muay Thai gym, you wouldn't say that in my face, because I do martial arts too. You wouldn't say that in my face. I promise you that.
Listen, we're gonna close this out. This turned into no, we're not doing that. We're not doing
I'll
that.
take you on
But
that.
you can't. But Kyle,
You push this your girly man. So
we're closing out. We're closing out. But Kyle, you can't insult people like that.
Oh, I'm sorry, man, but the bottom line, they talk like women, though.
Nah, but Kyle, we're not gonna do that, bro. Guys, thank you. Thank you. Apologize. Thank you.
I apologize.
It's all love. It's all love. You guys can reach me, gasthemup@gmail.com. Send me an email. All the people talking trash, meet me in Ajegule. All you Nigerians talking junk, leave Banana Island, come to Ajegule, where the Ubers don't go, and then we can talk. If you have power.
Listen, you guys can find me in Ikeja off of Allen Avenue. That's
You can find Danas in Ikeja near Allen Okpebi. That's where you can find Danas.
Yeah, that's where you'll find me. Everybody, like, share, subscribe. Go to DynastySpear.com. And until next time.
This was fun, bro. I love you both, brothers, man. No hard feelings.
Until next time.
All right. Yo, Dr. K, peace, love. Dynas, peace.
Okay, Africa, 4